White said. The same goes for Sophie Cunningham, who has been limited to just 4 games this season due to an ankle injury. White said that Cunningham was also limited in Monday's practice.
Ticket prices for Fever games without Clark have dropped dramatically, and media buzz has nearly vanished. And here's the scary part. It's not just about missing this game. The way Stephanie White is talking, it sounds like Clark could miss multiple games moving forward. When asked whether Clark could be ready for the next matchup against the Liberty, the answer was a clear maybe. And when coaches start throwing around words like cautious, long-term, and
Caitlin Clark not coming back tomorrow.
Like Stephanie White has made it clear, Caitlin Clark will not play tomorrow.
How about Caitlin? Is she going to be ready for tomorrow?
Oh, not for tomorrow, no.
Something shocking just happened. Caitlin Clark, the face of the WNBA, and the biggest reason fans are tuning in, will not be suiting up against the Atlanta Dream. And trust me, it's not just another game she's missing. It's a sign that things are getting even worse behind the scenes.
Caitlin Clark make a return, and they got
movement patterns and rhythm from Coach White. They're not throwing her into the fire without knowing exactly how her body responds.
We've got to work both Clark and Sophie back in. Are they in basketball condition? What does it mean to go live? It's one thing to do some shooting drills. It's another thing to go out on the floor, get back into movement, patterns, rhythm, timing. We're picking and choosing the things that can be in practice so we can see their progress.
Let's not forget, this is the same league that needs Caitlin Clark healthy for national broadcasts, packed arenas, and sponsor deals. When she sits, ticket prices plummet. TV viewership drops. Casual fans turn away. The Fever saw this happen immediately after her injury. A game that would have sold.
To figure out a way. I know I can't hate to stress this, but they got to figure out a way to finesse a way.
What exactly is going on? Why is the Fever taking this route? And what does this mean for Caitlin's future, her team, and the entire WNBA?
Stephanie White did talk today, gave an update.
In today's video, we're breaking it all down in full detail. From the latest update by head coach Stephanie White to the reactions exploding across the league.
Clark said Thursday, after being reevaluated over the weekend, she could possibly return for Tuesday's tilt. She would not rush back.
You do not want to miss this. Ramping up, that's code for don't expect her back anytime soon. So if you were hoping this was just a precaution for one night, you may want to buckle up. This is turning into something bigger.
Well, it looks like a reactivation of the initial injury she had in preseason, which was also minor. So 2 weeks is the right time frame to really shut her down, let it rest, control the potential swelling that can develop in the thigh.
With Caitlin Clark officially sidelined and Sophie Cunningham still not fully recovered from her own ankle injury, the Indiana Fever are facing a critical for $300 a ticket suddenly dropped to $8. That's not a coincidence. That's Caitlin Clark's power. So what's the Fever's move? Delay now, dominate later. Coach White and the medical staff are clearly opting to build Clark back up carefully.
Right, she's itching to get back. This is a young lady who hasn't missed a game in 8 years, going back to her high school career. So she's not used to being in this position where she has to watch her teammates play while she's on the sidelines, on the bench. Now, based on all your expertise and quad injuries that you've witnessed over the years, what is the timeline?
But before we jump in, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment with CC 100% if you're still riding with Caitlin Clark, and turn on the bell so you don't miss any breaking updates like this. Let's get into it.
Stephanie White spoke at Fever practice. Stephanie White back around the team. She had missed the last game due to personal reasons. Austin Kelly stepped in, did a great job.
Caitlin Clark will not take the court against the Atlanta Dream. And according to head coach Stephanie White, it's not just about resting. It's about making the right long-term decision in physicality.
Caitlin Clark's status for the game today, or game tomorrow, is official. Her status is official. And it is, I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing at all, because at the end of the day, Caitlin being healthy in September means more than Caitlin being healthy in June.
The injury in question, a lingering quad issue. This isn't just a minor tweak. It's something that's been aggravated and is clearly requiring more recovery time than anyone anticipated. In fact, according to White, the Fever are playing the long game with Clark. They don't want to rush her back only for her to get re-injured, which would be devastating. Not realize the Fever are managing something much bigger than a single game. Caitlin Clark isn't just their top player. She's their entire brand right now. Every time she steps on the court, it's headline news.
Caitlin Clark is the driving force behind the interest in the Fever and the interest in the WNBA at large.
Every time she scores, clips go viral. The Fever aren't just protecting her. They're protecting the WNBA's most valuable asset. And here's the hard truth. Quad injuries are notoriously tricky. They're deceptive. A player might feel good one day during light drills, but as soon as they push at game speed or take contact, the risk of re-injury skyrockets. That's why you're hearing words like progression. After being evaluated over the weekend, Clark was allowed to return to some basketball activities, including limited practice. But that doesn't mean she's game ready.
You know, I think for us, it's we've got to work, both her and Sophie, back into are they in basketball condition, you know.
Coach White was clear. Clark is not yet in full basketball condition. She explained that while Caitlin has started ramping up her activity, doing some shooting and light drills, she hasn't been cleared for full contact 5-on-5 action. And that's the key difference. It's one thing to move through drills. It's another to hit game speed, lateral movements, and steals per game. She's brought defensive intensity and hustle, becoming a fan favorite almost overnight. However, there's a catch. She can only stay on the roster until either Caitlin or Sophie returns.
The Indiana Fever have just about, they've kept the flow. Like, even if they lose their next two games, they might lose even with her.
That puts Indiana in a tough spot. They're balancing short-term performance with long-term roster strategy. McDonald's emergence is making the eventual decision more difficult. But based on current rules, one of these three players will be the odd one out once the roster is full again. All this makes it clear
to them being out for long periods of time. You've got to work your way back into being game ready. Fever schedule. Tomorrow night, Dream not coming back.
Doing one-on-one drills and some controlled shooting, but let's be very clear. She has not participated in any 5-on-5 full-speed scrimmages. That means no lateral movement under pressure, no high-intensity play, and definitely no full-court action. Without that green light, there's no way she can step into a WNBA game, especially against a team like the Dream that plays with speed physical matchups.
Stephanie White said Monday, Clark is, quote, ready to start ramping back up and has been allowed to participate in some, but not all of practice. Quote, we're going to be smart, we're going to be cautious, and we're going to play the long game and work her back in very intentionally.
Stephanie White emphasized that the team is going to be smart and cautious. She repeated the phrase, playing the long game, meaning they're focused on Caitlin's overall health and not just the short-term need to win games. This isn't just about tomorrow's game. It's about the whole season.
You do have to wonder if this is something that has been nagging.
Here, Clark's absence isn't just a personal setback. It's affecting the team's chemistry, rotations, and possibly even their season outlook.
She's not coming back. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time on this, but I wanted to touch on it. After facing the Atlanta Dream on Tuesday, the Fever won't play again until Saturday when they host the Liberty, giving the team ample practice time to see whether Clark and Cunningham are inching closer to their returns.
Now let's talk about why the Indiana Fever are choosing caution, even when the pressure is on to play their superstar. At first glance, it might seem like this is just about one injury. But when you zoom out, you realize
Stephanie White said it was a new injury. There was some question.
She had a minor quad strain in the preseason that was well managed. Now, here's the issue. She was cleared to play just before the start of the season, but then re-aggravated.
Especially considering this is an injury Clark has reportedly aggravated more than once already this year. So for now, the Fever are holding her back. No green light, no jersey, no Caitlin Clark on the court against Atlanta. Head coach Stephanie White confirmed that Clark has not been cleared for full contact basketball activity. Yes, she's been easing back into light practice.
Both